Book of Heaven, Volume 19, August 29, 1926. Only the Supreme Will possesses the nature of true good. Blessing of Jesus of the title to be given to the writings about his most holy will. My poor mind is always returning to the supreme center of the eternal will. And if sometimes I think about something else, Jesus himself, with a speaking of his, calls my attention to crossing the unending sea of his most holy will. So since I was thinking about something else, my sweet Jesus, jealous, clasped me to himself and told me,
"My daughter, always in my will do I want you, because in Ford, it is the nature of good. Only when a good never ends and has no beginning and no end, then can it be called true good. When it has its beginning and its end, a good is full of bitternesses, of fear, of anxiety, and also of disillusion. All this renders good itself unhappy, and many times one passes easily from the good of riches to miseries, from fortune to misfortune, from health to sickness, because all the goods that have a beginning are unstable, fleeting, short-lived, and end up in nothing. It is my supreme will that possesses the nature of true good, because it has no beginning and no end, and therefore its good is always the same, always full, always stable, not subject to any change. This is why all that the soul makes enter into the supreme will. All of her acts formed in it acquire the nature of true good, because they are done in a stable, immovable will, which contains eternal and immeasurable goods. So your love, your prayer, your thanksgivings, and everything you can do take their place in an eternal beginning that never ends, and therefore acquire the fullness of the nature of good. So your prayer acquires full value and complete fruit, in such a way that you yourself will not be able to comprehend where the fruits and the goods of your prayer will extend. It will go around throughout eternity. It will give itself to all, and at the same time it will remain always full in its effects. Your love acquires the nature of true love, of that unshakable love that never fails, that never ends, that loves all, gives itself to all, and remains always with the fullness of good of the nature of true love, and so with all the rest. To everything that enters into my will, the creative strength of my will communicates its own nature and converts it into its own acts, because it does not tolerate having within itself acts dissimilar from its own. Therefore it can be said that the acts of the creature done in my will enter the inscrutable ways of God, nor can anyone know all of their innumerable effects. That which has no beginning and no end renders itself incomprehensible to created minds, which have a beginning, because since the power of an act that has no beginning is missing in them, all the divine things and everything that enters my will render themselves impenetrable and inscrutable. See then the great good of operating in my will, to what high place it raises the creature, how she is given back the nature of good, just as she was delivered from the womb of her Creator. On the other hand, anything that can be done outside of my will, be it even good, cannot be called true good. First of all, because the divine nourishment and its light are missing, and these acts are dissimilar from my acts, taking away from the soul the likeness of the divine image. In fact, it is my will alone that makes her grow in my likeness. Once my will is removed, the best is removed, the greatest value of the human works. Therefore those are works emptied of substance, of life, and of value. They are like plants without fruit, food without substance, statues without life, works without retribution, which tire the limbs of the strongest. Oh, how great is the difference between operating in my will and operating without it. Therefore, be attentive, and do not give me this sorrow of making me see even one act in you which does not give of my likeness."
After this, he disappeared, but he came back a little later, as though restless because of offenses received. Taking refuge in me, he wanted to take rest, and I said to him, "My love, I have many things to tell you, many things to establish between you and me. I must ask of you that your will be known and that its kingdom have its full triumph. If you rest, I cannot tell you anything. I must be silent to let you rest. And Jesus, interrupting my speaking, with unspeakable tenderness, pressed me so very tightly to himself, and kissing me told me,
My daughter, how beautiful on your lips is the prayer for the triumph of the kingdom of the supreme will. It is the echo of my own prayer, of my sighs, and of all my works. Now I want to see what you wrote about the title to be given to the writings about my will.
And as he was saying this, he took this book in his hands, and he seemed to be reading what is written on August 27th. As he was reading, he remained pensive, as though placing himself in profound contemplation, in such a way that I did not dare to tell him anything. I could only hear that his heart was beating very, very strongly, almost wanting to explode. Then he pressed the book to his breast, saying,
I bless this title. I bless it from my heart, and I bless all the words that regard my will.
And raising his right hand with enchanting majesty, he pronounced the words of the blessing. Having done this, he disappeared. Thank you for being a part of our community here at Divine Will app. If you enjoy listening to Jesus' lessons on how to live in the divine will, please give this video a thumbs up. Your likes help us reach more souls yearning to live in the kingdom of the divine will. We'd love to hear your thoughts and reflections, so drop a comment below. Your insights not only enrich our community, but also inspire others on their spiritual journey. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By joining us, you're helping to spread the news of the kingdom of the divine will, so that together we can bring His kingdom to reign on earth as it is in heaven. In the divine will, always.